Well, we're back with retro reviews for a different world. Let's get into it.
Ain't it obvious? I just got the check for depositing. $750 for the sound wave to get it processed. Won't stop till that shit weighing down my pockets. My main thing's to my main thing. She a blossom. When she ease the pain with the brain, she a doctor. She open up anything thicker than the plot gets. Swear that shit is awesome. Sight for the optics. Young nigga on top. Nike's all I'm rocking, so that all they see is checks from where the head to where the socks fit. No logo on the bifocal, flicking old roach tips. Won't even show my face until all the shows book. Need the cash in advance, leave them all social. I'm the guy they chosen. Rise up like the rose and put them on a poster. All the way up in the sky where the stars posted. Sip it on that rose, I put it down on coasters. Stack francs from the waves till I own the ocean. More praises for the sayings, let it all soak in. They like, hey, that shit is flame, bitch, I know I rode. They going tight, dumb.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is EBBIE with EBBIE Reviews, and this is going to be my retro review for A Different World Season 2, Episode 2. What is the name of this episode? Oh no. Okay. All right, hold on. Give me a second. I'm going to find the name. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Two is called The Two Gentlemen of Hillman. Okay. So this episode is all about Dwayne and Ron and their relationship. So let me get to my notes and then we're going to get into this. All right. So, we start and they're in a class. They're in debate class. They are debating about philosophers and systems and all this kind of thing. And Dwayne is actively debating in the class with this other student named Sam. Ron is sleeping. I was just listen, knocked out, gone to glory, Jesus. Ron gets called out by his teacher and then asks the question. He's like, let me ponder. Yeah, you need to ponder because you don't know what the hell is going on because you've been asleep the whole time. So the teacher then says that their joint research paper is due and is worth 35% of their grades. Now, as Whitley is talking to her partner, little light-skinned girl, I can't think of her name right now. And of course, Whitley is getting on her nerves. So Sam walks up to Dwayne and says, even though we don't agree, I think we both have great minds and we should do this research paper together. Dwayne is about to say yes when Ron walks on him and he's like, okay, you ready to get started on this paper? And I feel like Dwayne really wanted to work with Sam, but he felt an obligation to his best friend to work with him. So he tells Sam, maybe the next time. As they're getting ready to leave, he's like, Dwayne's like, come on, let's go to the library. Let's get started on this paper. And some little girl named Noelle shows up and says, Ronnie, are you going to take me out to lunch? And he's like, I'll meet you at the library in 30, 45 minutes. She kisses him and he's like, make that an hour. So Ron got a lunch date booty call. So Dwayne is at the library. He's doing research for this paper. And Freddie is flirting around in this little hideous flower dress that she stole from some 12-year-old at the thrift store. She's fishing for compliments from Dwayne, and Dwayne barely even remembered what this child's name. He called her Freddie. He called her Reddy. Then he called her Teddy. He called her everything but her name, Jesus. She then flits off, and she's standing by the desk where Jaleesa is working behind the counter at the library. And she was like, oh, look at him. He's so gorgeous and beautiful. And I feel like a poem going on, Ode to a Sensual Scribbler. And she started to mumble on about this thing. And Jaleesa said, that's cute, but you're going to be late for your interview. And so she runs off. So Ron finally arrives 2 hours late. And Dwayne is aggravated. He's like, come on, we got to get this research done. You got to get this paper together. They get into an argument because Ron is not taking any of this seriously. And Dwayne is really like, listen, I can't continue to carry you. You're going to have to pull your own weight. Ron says, but I'm your best friend, and this is how we've always worked, blah, 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 blah. He's like, we can't do that no more. You got to do better with your life. So they say some ugly stuff to each other, and Ron runs off. So Dwayne is getting ready to leave, and Jaleesa pulls him to the side and said, you were really harsh with him. And he was like, that man's got to grow. I say, listen, that is your best friend. There's nobody that knows you like he does. Y'all need to get this together. Dwayne says, you're right. And then he goes off to find Ron. So Kim is on, wait, no. So we then go to the Pete where we meet Mr. Gaines. Mr. Gaines is the owner and proprietor of the Pit, the dining spot at the school. And he is holding interviews for working at the Pit. He's very no nonsense. He's very tough love. That's who Mr. Gaines is. He gonna love up on you, but you gonna give up this work. So he talks to Freddie. He was like, do you have any experience? And she was like, well, I used to help my family back home. He's like, okay, no experience. He's like, he gives her a potato and a potato peel and says, peel this potato. And then he talks to Kim. Kim says, I used to work at Bubble Burger. I started as the Onion Girl, and then I was up to Bubble Burger something. And she was like, and I worked all through high school. He's like, okay, you're hired. Be here tomorrow at 7:00 in the morning. He turns around to Freddie. He's like, are you done? And she holds up the potato. The poor potato is mangled. Jesus, Father. There's huge chunks out of it. Most of the skin is still on it. He was like, oh, no, ma'am. Oh, no, ma'am. He said, go down to grounds. They are looking to hire people to take tree limbs down with saws. Oh, God. So Dwayne finds Ron at the Pit. And so they talk to each other. Well, okay. So what I forgot to mention was that Ron bought a paper so they wouldn't have to do any of the work. So Dwayne says to Ron, he's like, okay, we'll follow your lead. We will go ahead and use the paper that you brought. We'll go to this party. We'll go hang out. We'll go to the movies. Let's go get some food. So he goes into the dine. So they make up, and Ron is in good spirits. And he asks Ron, what do you want? He's like, I'll have whatever you have. And now that my appetite is back. Cool. So Dwayne goes in to get the food. And here comes Whitley. And Whitley speaks to Ron. And she's like, hey, Ronaldus. And they have a little conversation. And she tells him, oh, that we're done with our paper. And, we early. And blah, blah, blue, blue, blue. And she's like, she's going to go in, and she leaves her book sitting on the table. So Ron goes to pick up the paper to look at Whitley and her partner's paper to see what they wrote. It's an exact copy of the paper that he bought. Immanuel Kant, A Wolf in a Lamb's World or something like that. And so he's freaked out, and he puts the paper back down. So when Dwayne comes out with the food, he was like, listen, we don't have time. We got to do something. Whitley bought the same paper. And Dwayne, as mad and shocked, and he was like, see, you couldn't even buy the paper right. You were supposed to get a one-of-a-kind paper and said you went to International House of Papers. He's like, what are we going to do now? And Ron comes up with the great idea, we're going to write the paper. He's like, let's go. We don't have time. Let's get to the library. We ain't got time. We got to get this paper written. And so they go off to the library. Kim is on the phone with her mama when Freddie comes in looking beat down and like the world just kicked her all over. She has been to everyone to see how she can get a job, and no one is biting. Nobody wants to hire this baby. She says she's never looking for another job again. Well, we know that's a lie. That's just a hello, baby. And so Kim gives her a pep talk. She's like, you're an adult now. You got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. There's no running home asking mommy and daddy, can you come home? You got to get your life together. So then we then get to class on that following Monday. Whitley and her partner are coming in, and they're arguing about the title to their paper, which was something else. It had nothing to do with a man. It was about something about joy of cooking, joy of, I don't know. And so the title is nothing about Immanuel Kant. And Ron says to the partner, hey, what happened to Immanuel Kant? And the girl said he died in 1804. Look it up. I mean, what you talking about? And he was like, Whitley, what happened to your paper on Immanuel Kant? And she was like, why, Ronaldus, I have no idea what you could be talking about. Right, Dwayne? And she looks back at Dwayne, and Dwayne is cracking up. And he was like, I got you, my nigga. He's like, that's it. Well, now paper is wrote. And that's how the episode ended. Listen, can I just say, as as a major procrastinator and a person who when I was in school, wrote papers at the last minute. I'm talking about one period before this. It was 6 weeks in the making, but one period before the paper was due is when I wrote the freaking paper, and I still got to be on it. Listen, I understand not wanting to, you just listen. I feel like I have to be pushed up against the wall in order for the greatness to come out. But, this just brought back a lot of memories. I am really enjoying these retro reviews, and I can't wait until Tuesday and I do episode 3. So this will be my retro review of episode 2 of A Different World. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.